Thank you very much. Well, thank you all for coming here today. It's my great pleasure to welcome you here. My name is Richard Morrow. I am the chairman of the Melbourne Mining Club. That's Australia's premier networking organisation for the mining industry. And great to see so many people here today. Some familiar faces as well, which is excellent. Conference, how's it going? I think it's been amazing. I've been learning a lot. It's my second time here. It gets better every year. So I really appreciate the organisers and what our great hosts are doing. There's something about this place. It's where, you see opportunity meeting genuine hospitality. I mean, you just feel welcome when you come here. I know you feel the same. Now we're in for a real treat here today. The spotlight, well, we're turning the blowtorch, the spotlight on our hosts. What we're hoping to see there is to see some of the great strides taken here in the development of a mining industry, global scale mining industry. Now, for an extra treat, this is where I get to do the home demonstration, we have some hard-working translators hiding behind the curtain over there, but so if you would like to hear any of the presentations, you pick up this, you put the jack in this side here, and click, and you'll see in this window, number one is English. Sorry, number one is Arabic, and number two is English. Glad I got that round the right way eventually. So please feel free to use these for our presenters, and also we've got a chance for some question and answer at the end of this session. So please don't hesitate. The guys are here to not only just to give a presentation, they're here to answer your questions. So please keep that in mind, and make sure you have a question tucked up your sleeve for the back end of today's presentations. Right. Well, I think it's about time we got started then on that basis. Our first speaker, and it's a great pleasure to hear from him, is from His Excellency Engineer Abdullah, Assistant Deputy Minister of Mining Investment with the Ministry of Mining and Mineral Resources of Saudi Arabia. Please, can I invite you to the stage for your presentation? Thank you. Please give him a round of applause. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, it is my pleasure to welcome you all to this illuminating session titled KSA, the World's Next Minerals Hub. Today we will explore with you the exciting prospects and the opportunities within Saudi Arabia mining sector. Saudi Arabia stands at the cusp of becoming a global mineral hub, emphasized by several key factors, which makes it attractive destination for investments in global mining. Allow me to share with you a few number of them. Number one, KSA is blessed with an abundant wealth and untapped mineral resources, $2.5 trillion, coupled with an attractive exploration incentives. Two, KSA has a strategic location at the crossroads between Asia, Africa, and Europe, where 13% of the global trade flowing through the Red Sea. Three, KSA is supported with a magnificent, robust infrastructure, a world-class, accessible ports, making it a natural transit hub for mineral trade. Number four, KSA has one of the lowest energy costs globally, with a high and growing capacity of clean energy, enabling production of decarbonized products. And finally, KSA has a strong and growing domestic demand, driving the attractiveness for investors into the kingdom, tapping into ready markets for finished products. The kingdom, as you probably know, launched its mining comprehensive strategy as well as its national industrial strategy, aiming to, number one, maximizing the value of our mineral resources within the kingdom by unlocking various value chains and its related industries. Number two, tripling our GDP up to 900 billion riyals and doubling our non-oil exports with 600 billion Saudi riyals by 2030, where minerals are set to play a pivotal role in this transformation. Number three, identifying 12 main clusters as a priority future industries such as aerospace, renewable, automotive, military, maritime, where they are covering 118 sub-segments among them. Furthermore, KSA is positioning itself to be a global green mineral processing hub and acting as a key enabler for the global energy transition, where initiatives like Aqua Power's green hydrogen project leading the way forward for decarbonization. Our pledge to achieve 50% of our power from renewable sources by 2030, where we are aspiring to install 130 gigawatt of renewables, it simply highlights our commitment to sustainability and green initiatives, making the kingdom a compelling partner for the future. These bold, ladies and gentlemen, steps clearly demonstrates that our dedication to expanding our mineral industry beyond traditional boundaries as we stand on the verge of mineral revolution. Today's discussion serves as a call for an action, as also an invitation to collectively shape the future. In a sense, Saudi Arabia isn't just simply embracing change, we are catalyzing it. Let us seize this opportunity ahead of us and establish and forge international partnership that will drive our growth in the sector, collectively shaping the future of minerals in Saudi Arabia and the rest of the world. Thank you all for your valuable presence. I'm eagerly looking forward to more informative and fruitful discussion arising from this session that will benefit all of us. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And now let's drill a bit deeper, as we do in the world of geology. Thank you. You appreciated that one. Thank you. Let's now. At the end of the day, it's all about the rocks, and who better to hear from it from our next speaker, Anthony Benin, who is the Regional Director, UK and Saudi Arabia, from MSA Mining Consulting. Please come up the stage and let's hear more about that. Please make him welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard, and salam alaikum to everybody, and welcome. My thanks, of course, first to the Ministry for inviting me to give this presentation. Okay, so the purpose of this presentation is to provide a brief overview of the geology of Saudi Arabia, in particular the Arabian Shield. I'm aware that many people in the audience may already be familiar with the geology of the Arabian Shield in Saudi Arabia, but this will hopefully serve as an introductory session to help educate and inform those people who are not already aware, not perhaps based within the kingdom at present. So just briefly to introduce myself, yes, as Richard was saying, I'm Anthony Benham. I'm a director for the MSA Group. We have been established and working in Saudi Arabia for more than 10 years, and we have recently set up an office here as part of our new company, MSA Arabia, and I'm happy to talk to people later about that. Anyway, on to the main talk. So, Saudi Arabia then. 4 main geological domains, as listed at the top here. You've got the recent cover, effectively wind aeolian deposits of sand, beneath which you've got various other units, rocks associated with the Red Sea Rift along the western coast of Saudi Arabia. Phanerozoic sediments as well, ranging in age from between 570 million years up to about 50 million years old. But the main focus of this talk is to talk about the Arabian Shield. And these comprise rocks that range roughly in age between 570 million years old and 1.6 billion years old. Most of the known metallic mineral occurrences within Saudi Arabia at present are associated with the Arabian Shield itself. And these range in size from occurrences, simple perhaps copper showings, for example, or other types of occurrences, down to obviously the major world-class deposits that some of you may already be aware of within the kingdom at the moment. The Arabian Shield, as I will explain in subsequent slides, is a very significant underexplored shield. It forms half of what is effectively called the Arabian-Nubian Shield, with the Nubian side falling on the other side of the Red Sea. And there's various base metal and precious metal occurrences associated with this. And this reflects the complex geological history of the shield, which comprises many different terrains which has effectively been accreted to each other since the shield was formed. There are, in addition to the metallic mineral occurrences known throughout the shield, there's also a substantial variety and number of industrial mineral occurrences and non-metallic and other non-metallic minerals also within the shield, usually within the younger portions of the rock, but in some instances forming part of the actual basement as well. So the Arabian Shield then, outlined in black here on the right-hand side of the slide as you see it, it covers more than 620,000 square kilometers, so it's a significant size. It's about a quarter of the size of the area of the kingdom itself. And as I mentioned a minute ago, it's one of the largest and best exposed assemblages of basement rocks in Neoproterozoic in age in the world. It's covered to the north, east and south by younger Phanerozoic sediment rocks. As I say, these are various sands and sandstones amongst other units as well. And it's separated from the Egyptian or the Nubian side of the ANS by the Red Sea Rift. So the rocks within the actual Arabian Shield itself, these comprise various sequences of volcanosedimentary and associated plutonic complexes of rocks. Effectively, it's a melange, if you like, of lots of different terrains, each with their own geological formation, and each therefore has its own geological prospectivity. And there are various granitic pollutons associated with those as well, which are also associated with different types of mineral deposits. So the main deposits of the Arabian Shield, we have a map on the right-hand side here which shows the distribution of all of the Arabian-Nubian Shield, with some of the more significant deposits and mines highlighted on the map here. So there's a range of precious and base metal deposits and occurrences with a known mining history that dates back literally thousands of years. Some of the more major occurrences, in size more than 1 million ounces of gold pre-mining, include the ones that I've listed on the slide here: Marad Dabab, Al Dawahi, Mansoura Mansara. Of course, there was an announcement recently in the news about additional resources that have been located by Ma'aden, and various other deposits that are listed on both sides of the shield. In addition, on the Egyptian side, you have the world-class Sukari gold deposit in Egypt, which at the time of this, in 2022, comprised nearly 6 million ounces of gold at just over a gram a ton. So a significant deposit with a substantial mining life attached to it. There are also substantial base metal volcanogenic massive sulfide, or VMS style deposits, also including that deposit which is currently being worked in Saudi Arabia at Jabal Sayid, which includes a resource, a pre-mining resource of 74 million tons at just 1.3% copper. So there's substantial presence of existing opportunities, of existing mines within the kingdom on both sides of the Arabian-Nubian Shield, and there's a lot of indications that there are plenty of undiscovered resources to come. So these are just a few of those different styles of mineralization that we believe are prospective within the kingdom. As I say, it's been underexplored in comparison with other shields around the world. And these are just a sample of some of the perhaps more well-known or more prospective types of mineral deposits that you should expect to find within the shield. So you've got your orogenic or your structurally controlled gold deposits, and these are related typically to faults, so you might expect these to be found at the boundaries between the different terrains, for example. You've got epithermal gold, which may or may not be associated with base metal sulfide mineralization. Base metals are associated with VMS, or volcanogenic massive sulfide deposits, as well as a whole suite down here. I'm not going to go through them all. You can see many different types of mineralization styles that may be located and are yet to be discovered within the kingdom, including porphyries. There may be some associated rare earth deposits associated with granitic intrusions. There could be some PGE associated with the flood basalts within the kingdom. Basically, we haven't really looked in depth, and this is the attractiveness of the Arabian Shield itself, in that a lot of this area has yet to be explored, and we're just scratching the surface, really, in terms of the true potential of the actual shield. So with that, I will finish my introductory presentation and hand back over to Richard to introduce the rest of my colleagues from the ministry who are talking about the opportunities present and how external companies and internal companies might capitalize on the actual true potential of the Arabian-Nubian Shield. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Anthony. Wow, that's quite a package there, a package of opportunity that mouth-watering, you could almost say, in that respect. So thank you very much. And there's an opportunity later on for a bit of Q&A. So if that raised any questions, we'll be able to quiz Anthony a bit later down the track. And now it's my great pleasure to introduce to the stage Othman Hamdan, the Business Development Manager from the Ministry of Mining and Mineral Resources in Saudi Arabia. He's going to talk around about the strategic objectives and a bit about the value chain. So can I please welcome to the stage, there we go. Thank you very much. Please make your welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Richard. Hello, distinguished guests. Before I jump on strategic initiatives about Saudi Arabia on the mining sector, let's first start on why mining in KSA. Saudi Arabia relies for the mining sector on three competitive advantages. First, the geological endowment, which untapped resources. Thank you to Anthony. He mentioned, alhamdulillah, mashallah, tabarakallah, first, full of untapped resources. Second, the local demand with the announced projects of the mega and giga projects worth of exceeding more than $1 trillion. And lastly, the competitive advantage of cost that the government has been offered to the sector itself to make it enabled in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. List first, in terms of the demand, there is a rapid growth in the demand. In 2015, we have found lots of minerals that have been imported in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. However, with the huge projects that is coming in from the industrial strategies and the construction businesses, there is huge demand that's going to grow, especially in the minerals sector, to serve the sectors such as renewables, even cars manufacturers, and even we are leveraging our oil and gas targets to increase our local spending to more than 70%, which mostly are from mineral sectors as well. So what the government have done to enable this sector? as a government, we have built more than 40 industrial cities, access that's to enabled sector, access to world-class infrastructure that is connected to utilities and water and natural gases as well. And even with that, we offered the financial incentives that's co-funding up to 75% of loans for the mining industries and the downstream as well. And for the foreign investors can have ownership of 100%. Even for more than that, the foreign local investors and investment enjoys of customs duty exemptions on machinery equipment and raw materials and spare parts that is not locally produced to increase the competitive advantage of the opportunity itself. Now, after showing all the competitive advantage, we have gathered all these competitive advantage and we have made the mining sector, which was set in the mining strategy, to set the mining sector as the third pillar of the industrial economy after oil and gas and petrochemicals, by increasing our GDP 4 times to reach more than 240 billion US Saudi Riyal, and also create high value added jobs. So the strategy was introduced in 2016. Since the inception of the strategy, we have accomplished substantial results. We have right now on the pipelines that is under construction or still in development more than 89 billions Saudi Riyal of investments, that's ongoing projects. And last year, we have announced more than 80 billion Saudi Riyal of agreements, which we signed last year in 2023. And we have increased our 100% of increase in exploration spending. And lastly, 138% since the new mining law has been launched in 2020, increase in the exploitation licenses. But still, with this great achievement, we have set ambitious target to achieve our growth in the minerals. We have set in the mining strategy to be among the top 3 in the fertilizers and among the top 10 in the aluminum, and even to increase our production tonnage to reach to be among the top 3. So what we have done at the ministry, we have gathered all these advantages and evaluated the entire value chains in the metallic and non-metallic, and see where are the gaps. And we gathered these opportunities and made it a packaging opportunities, and that's we can discuss with the future prospective investors. So, for example, in the steel business, we are one of the leading producer in the midstream. However, with the growth demand, there is a huge opportunities in the midstream and the downstream, especially in the specialized steel products and the green steel, to utilize our competitive advantage for using our green energy as well. And in the copper, that's another great example. We are one of the leading producer in the cable manufacturers. We are utilizing the competitive advantage of Saudi Arabia, of the utilities and development of land, and the demand as well from the coming giga mega projects and the local production to have an opportunity for the copper in the midstream as well, the copper smelter and so on. This is also for the non-metallic opportunities as well. So we have evaluated all the value chains as a ministry and see where are the gaps, and we have these opportunities. This is just show you what are the opportunities in the kingdom. This is just the highlights of the opportunities, and we are more than happy to work with prospective investors to allocate these opportunities. This is in steel, this is in the aluminum. And in the copper, as I've explained, we have a huge opportunity in the midstream, and especially also in the downstream to allocate for the giga project and mega projects. And the titanium, we want to leverage our local manufacturers of titanium sponge to produce even the aerospace grade titanium ingots and plates as well, and leveraging our utility cost as well and competitive advantage for utilities. And also as well in the quartz and silica. we want to leverage in terms of the resources, as well as the energy competitive prices in Saudi Arabia, and the location to allocate the silicon smelters and other production as well. And even in the right now, since there is a transition of green metals and EV metals, we are trying to be one of to produce local manufacture of lithium and nickel and other grades of. So thank you. I will let Mr. Richard continue. Thank you very much.
Wow, that's a big agenda, isn't it? And lots of opportunity. That's the name of the game, isn't it? Opportunity. Opportunity meeting hospitality. And what a good time we've all had. And now I'd like to call to Ahmed Al-Akil, General Manager of Mining Investment, Ministry of Mining and Mineral Resources in Saudi Arabia. Please welcome you to the stage. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, and thank you for being here. As you've heard from our colleagues, the kingdom is blessed with abundant of resources. We've heard yesterday from His Excellency the Minister the new announcement of the mineral resources potential assessment in the kingdom. It increased by 90%. As of now, we have $2.5 trillion worth of mineral assessment waiting for us to start exploring and also to utilize and exploit the potential of the minerals. Uthman have mentioned various of downstreaming opportunities with abundant of incentives. And personally, as I engaged very extensively previously traveling in different nations and looking at different investors, I've always telling that please come to the kingdom, see our energy, our enthusiasm, how we dedicate to the mining sector. And today, as you're all here, I can see from your eyes that we're committed and we're going to deliver by 2030 being the third pillar of our national industries. And that not alone by ourselves, of course, with cooperation from private sectors and the House of Experience from different countries. So please allow me to take you through the journey of exploration in the kingdom. We've started back in January 2021 by introducing the mining investment law. And we believe that law is very competitive. It includes also one of the most competitive fiscal regime globally, where it shows a low fare in terms of the corporate income tax, as well as in the royalty and the recent introduced incentives by my colleagues. So in the exploration, we do have different paths of applying to the license. Anthony have shown you the technicality of the geology. And once you select your site, you either go by the first come, first served path, which covers 95% of our licensing procedure. That's the data are available publicly and for free of charge through our National Geological Database. And the other path is the licensing round, which is a merit-based auction. We've started the merit-based auction back in January 2022, and we've got some success stories that we announced just this afternoon. For example, Jabal Sahaiba copper asset was awarded to a consortium between Royal Roads Minerals and MSB Holding Company. This is one of the largest copper exploration sites in the kingdom. Also, the Bir Umq in Jabal Said built a copper asset was awarded this morning as well to a consortium between Ajlan Bros Mineral Company and Norinco Mining Company. And Hadid, one of the limited silver assets in the kingdom, was also awarded this morning to a consortium between Sumo Holding and the Canadian company Koya Silver. So those are our efforts to increase the exploration in the kingdom, as well as to discover the untapped potential within the Arabian Shield. As mentioned, back in 2020, where our exploration spending was 120 riyal per square kilometers. Today, in 2023, we increased the exploration spending by approximately 40%. So today we set out at 180 riyal per square kilometers. And with that, we've also completed 30% of the National Geophysical Survey of the Arabian Shield. Again, all of those data are available, waiting for you to start discovering a new Tier 1 assets in the kingdom. We've also reviewed our auction design completely. We're trying to attract the right technical companies and also focusing more on the companies that includes heavily in the exploration. As you can see, it's a simple process. It starts with the pre-qualification, which focuses more into the history of the company, track record of your exploration, and also your engagement in the social and environmental aspects, as the kingdom is committed and serious in the social and environmental sustainability. Also, we've focused more into work program and technical aspects. As you can see, 50% is focused for a work program, and the newly introduced part, which is resource and discovery activities, 20% of that are only for the companies that shows their past experience and activities in exploration. We call this path is a red carpet and VIP path license, as the process are simple, shorter, and you will get the support from the ministry through the entire process. We've completed the previous round as mentioned this morning, and yet we believe that's not enough. We've introduced a new rounds with 6 more sites, and also introducing 27 more sites this year. We're aiming to award 33 sites by next FMF next year. We have 6 more sites for 5th round with different type of commodities. Al Miyah, for example, one of the copper assets. We got also Makman Hijab, silver assets, Jebel Gun, gold, copper, lead. Hla Hla is an interesting asset where it's located closely with adjacent producing mines in the southern part of the kingdom. And Namas is also interesting license where it's located in a very complex structure where geologists will be enjoying at that area as well. Al-Hijra West and East is also a gold asset in Asir terrain of the kingdom. If you're interested, if you want to join us with this journey, please scan the barcodes. The second barcode is a boring barcode for geologists where they were going to review all data, look at all the documents. And the first code is to register is non-binding registration, where you will be stay with our loop for any updates and the new upcoming news for the licensing round in the kingdom. This is the future round, 27 sites. It will be also awarded in the next year. So I'll just go back if you want to take the barcode, sorry. So the future rounds, as mentioned by His Excellency Osama, the Assistant Deputy Minister, the kingdom is looking at the critical minerals and looking also towards the energy transition. This is why, as you can see, lots of strategic and critical minerals are part of this year's tender. We have around 15 sites in the center of the kingdom, close to Riyadh region, one of the largest growing cities globally with well-developed infrastructure. We got 4 sites of copper, 6 of silver, 2 of lead, 1 of tantalum, and 1 of cobalt, 1 of iron, and those are very important in the critical mineral strategy of the kingdom as well as the energy transition. This is a more detailed list it's available in our website as well as in the brochures. As mentioned yesterday by His Excellency the Minister, the Kingdom also giving a space for the major and larger companies to participate in the licensing round. We're offering a large area, 4,000 square kilometers in Jebel Said, one of the most promising built in the Kingdom, with abundant resources of base metal. It includes historical work since the 50s up to today, and the area it will be focused for the major companies, and we will announce detailed auction design by the first quarter of this year. Lastly but not leastly, the exploration incentives. I believe it's one of the most interesting topics. So the Kingdom is trying to de-risk the exploration investment in the Kingdom. We've started spending lots of money toward the exploration. We've spent around 1.5 billion Saudi riyal in the surveying. However, we're slower. We don't have the as experience as the private sector. This is why we're cooperating with the private sector to start exploring by de-risking the exploration, giving the exploration incentives. So we've introduced a new exploration incentive scheme in cooperation with the Ministry of Investment and the National Incentive Committee. That incentives goes up to 7.5 million Saudi riyal per license, and each company can take up to 5 licenses, which means closer to 35 million Saudi riyal, and that's around $7 million, I believe, for 5 licenses. And our main objectives, as mentioned, just to show that we're committed on the critical minerals. We want to increase and accelerate the exploration toward the critical and strategic minerals of the Kingdom, as well enhancing and injecting more data into our national geological database, and of course identifying a new potential area and perhaps a new mines in the near future. If you look in the bottom, this is the incentive package. So it covers part of the drilling, lab testing, geoscientific studies, as well as the employment. We believe this incentive will definitely support the exploration, and it's for everyone. All companies in the Kingdom can apply for the exploration incentives. Those are the eligibility criteria. The most important thing that we're looking for is existing license. So if you do have exploration license, please take these 3 months seriously and start applying for license to get advantage of the first comers in the exploration incentive program. The second important also factor in the exploration incentive program is the greenfield areas. We want to increase the data in the greenfield areas of the Kingdom. I know most of the Kingdom's still early exploration stage, and Anthony might also tell you more about our journey toward increasing the level of confidence in the geological confidence of the Kingdom. Of course, we have the priority of Class A minerals and strategic minerals for the Kingdom. Local capability building, we want to transfer knowledge to our youth Saudis, geologists, and also we want to commit to the local services providers. And the last one is we want to make sure the company that takes the incentives has a great track record in the previous towards their exploration projects and also the previous discovery. On the right side, before I conclude, on the right side you can see all the web links and contacts. Please feel free to contact us today. I'm not sure, maybe Sunday will be available for answering all your questions. Please contact us at any time, and please join us at this journey, and hopefully next year we'll be standing here with the new companies, with the new budgets that giving through the past year. Thank you very much, and I appreciate it.
Ahmed, if you could just stay here, I've just wanted to give the audience the opportunity, if they wanted to ask a question here and now while we've got you. Can I, in the front there, please, if you could just give us your name and your affiliation, please.
Thank you, Richard. Jeffrey Steiner from Canada Saudi Business Council, but also investing in mining companies. Firstly, congratulations on the incentive program. We're very proud. There were a lot of incentives for development of mines, tax-free this, but now you've brought the very important early stage, high-risk incentives into place. So thank you very much. One of the questions on some of the eligible costs. Would it be some activities that are even earlier than drilling would be eligible expenditures for a percentage, or is it really only for after the initial prospecting that a licensee would get?
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Jeffrey, and thank you for supporting us previously with the Canadian institution toward stress testing the exploration incentive design. Well, to be honest, we're also looking for higher quality data so other companies can utilize the outcome of the incentive program. This is why we only dedicated the incentives toward the most expensive activities, which are drilling, geophysics, and geochemistry, just to de-risk the investment and also to utilize the data from the program properly.
Some stuff. A further question here. Thank you. If you give us your name and your affiliation, thank you.
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Elias Frey. I'm a partner at Urbis Resources from the USA. Congratulations, great presentation from you and the Deputy Minister. And also this gentleman who I don't know who he is, but he's playing it perfectly. My question is the following. In all the previous preliminary research you have done, I have not seen anywhere, because maybe it does not exist, graphite in the region. In fact, just during the beautiful opening ceremony, you have all the chemical symbols of all the metals, and graphite, despite that it's a key mineral for electromobility and energy transition, because for example, in our batteries of our mobile phones and EV cars, 35% of the battery is graphite and less than 3% lithium. So my concrete question, have you found eventually in the region graphite for making anodes for the batteries, or not yet?
Well, as you mentioned, and also if Mr. Abdullah wants to jump in, graphite is a very important mineral for the kingdom. I'll take the second part and leave the first part for you, Osama. The second part, which is, have we found graphite yet? Please come start exploring. Discover graphite for us in the kingdom. And the first part, I'll leave it for Mr. Abdullah.
Just a microphone, please.
Thank you, Ahmed, for the for this comment. I would say, would like just to draw your attention to another side of the coin, which is, although that sometimes securing the raw material is something very important. In the business of mining and processing, it's not always the cost of the raw material. So in Saudi, we do have localization initiatives where we would like to attract investments in the graphite business. We've met with a good number of them actually during this session of FMF, but it's in most of the cases, it's the energy that is driving the total cost of production, which we enjoy a very strong competitive position globally. So overall, it's not always related to the availability of the raw material, but it's the whole total competitive advantages that we offer on the table. Thank you.
Further question there. If not, I've got one. Anthony, if I could maybe throw to you just as a follow-up on parts of that, is that given your also experience outside of Saudi, this excellent incentive program would seem to me it should stimulate a lot of exploration activity at a time when maybe it's falling in the rest of the world. Would you concur with that, and could you give us a bit of colour about how you see that sort of thing shaping up?
Sure, thank you. Absolutely. I think, look, first of all, congratulations to the Ministry on the introduction of the Exploration Incentives Programme. It's really exciting, actually, to see this being adopted, and I'm sure it will have the desired effect of encouraging juniors, in particular, to come in and explore in the Kingdom. I think the reason that the Ministry has introduced this programme is obviously designed to encourage exploration within the Kingdom, as it has done, and I know the Ministry looked into this. A similar programme exists in Western Australia, and it's been very, very successful over there over the past few years in encouraging exactly what the Ministry is intending to do. So I'm really encouraged to see this. In terms of service providers and services that exploration companies may require within the Kingdom, yes, there are companies over here already that provide geophysical services, for example, mapping teams, for example, exploration geologists who can go out and take samples. There's surprisingly few numbers of, I would say, Western companies. Ooh, is it me? Okay, sorry. Yeah, there's not that large a number of Western, I suppose, companies similar to MSA out here at the moment. Over here, can you hear me a bit better? Is that better? Okay. But you know, we are based out in the Kingdom now, and we've been operating out here for 10 years. So I would say this, but we welcome opportunities to work with any companies who are looking to explore out here. There are lots of drilling companies out here as well. A lot of companies who are obviously familiar with the petroleum side, who are now moving towards the metallic side as well. But you know, we're talking to all sorts of people over here, and we've got good, strong local partners who can provide those sorts of facilities. So my message, I suppose, really to everybody who's thinking about coming and exploring in the Kingdom is, yes, once you've obtained the licenses, as Ahmed was mentioning earlier on, please come and explore in the Kingdom. It's an exciting opportunity to explore one of the most undeveloped shields in the world, and there's undoubted potential out here. No question about it at all. And we look forward to working with people in this room and beyond these walls on those programs in the future. So that's my message to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. And as an Australian, I can add to that in terms of the quantum and the design of this program today. It's this program is many levels above what we've done through the state governments and through the federal assistance in Australia, and you're to be congratulated, not just for the quantum of the incentive, but for the way it's being applied. So, yeah, very thoughtful package. Do I have a final question here at all? Thank you. That's excellent. Thank you very much. Put your hands together for our speakers today, and also thank you all for coming. And what a great conference it is. This is the last event, certainly for me, and thank you all for your participation. Thank you.